Welcome to On the Beat, everyone. Today I wanted to delve into the difference between men and women and long-term care. So, of course, we invited our great friend back into the show, Cline Stevens, attorney at law. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
You were telling me off camera, long-term care is so different when it comes from women and men. How so and why?
Well, it's different for women because women traditionally really care for their husbands, and husbands typically pass away before their spouse. And what happens is the women expend so much energy caring for their spouse that they actually accelerate their decline. And then when the spouse passes, they're left with a drastically reduced income most of the time because they lose their spouse's income, and they're in a weakened state sometimes. And that might accelerate their own personal need for care in their home or additional assistance.
I think you were also saying to me one day before that sometimes it can be up to 20 to 25 years that a woman is on her own.
That's true. Sometimes men pass away much earlier than their spouse, and they can be widows for 15, 20, or 25 years, and that's a lot of life left to live on one income.
Why is it so important for women to know what their husbands have put aside, or the documents that they have, or the planning that they have? Because a lot of times, you've said before that women sometimes just skip over that part of their life.
Well, and it's not maybe that they intentionally skipped over it, but maybe just the husband was kind of the business person and he made those decisions. And I have seen so many times in my practice, the wife or the spouse comes in and she really has no idea what documents are in place. And if she didn't put some documents in place and the husband has passed, she might be stuck with the decisions that he made. And we might have to do extra planning or extra legal steps to make sure that she's protected and that she gets an interest in that property that she might not otherwise have had if we didn't do effective and active planning.
Okay, well, we're 30 years into a marriage, let's just say, and all of a sudden a penny drops. Someone's at home watching this and Mary Jane says to her husband Peter, I want to be more proactive in what is happening. What do we need to do?
Well, I think it's essential that you meet with a long-term care planning attorney, an elder law attorney who can give you an accurate and adequate depiction of what long-term care planning looks like for a couple versus a single person. Because when a spouse dies, the dynamics completely change. And that might include things like beneficiary designation changes. If you've got a blended family, it is imperative that you've planned for this, because an unintentional beneficiary change might completely disrupt the flow of assets that you intended. So it's important that you have an adequate perspective of what happens if my spouse is still living and we need long-term care versus what happens if I don't have a spouse and I need long-term care. The financial things regarding Medicaid planning and long-term care planning in a skilled facility are extremely different for couples versus
something
single.
I want to quickly touch on is the VA funds. What can they be used for?
Well, a lot of surviving spouses have no idea that they might be eligible for VA benefits. Now, it does not hinge on whether their spouse has a service-connected disability or not. There's a completely different set of benefits. It's called VA pension benefits that they may be entitled to if their husband served during wartime. He was active duty during wartime for at least 90 days. Then she might be eligible for up to $1,100 a month in VA pension benefits if her spouse has passed away. If her spouse is living and he served in the military and they need additional assistance, they might qualify for up to $2,200 a month in additional income. That can be
on top of what they may already be getting.
On top of what they already get. Now, there are income and asset limits to receiving those benefits, but that can be the difference between being able to stay at home and needing to go into a skilled care facility.
And that's why we need people like you, Sarah, to help us along the path and make sure we're taken care of, not just ourselves, but also our loved ones. There it all is up on the screen, everyone. Cline Stevens, attorney at law, back after this short break.